All right, we're here at the final debate assignment. It is a culminating experience of everything that you have learned. All right, now I do recognize that in a normal debate, you would have two people at a podium and they would rebuttal each other on a particular topic. But for this particular assignment, you will be arguing both sides. All right, so it's a great opportunity for critical thinking. So let's get to it. Here, the first thing you want to do is pick a moral dilemma in which you want to debate. All right, we've done this before. You can pick any TV show or movie that I approve, I gotta approve it, but not one you've done before. So don't do one you've done before. And then you want to make sure that you know which two sides you're going to argue. So let's give an example of the movie The First Kiss. Now, they got a couple characters in here. We got Michael and Jenna, who've been sweethearts. They get married. They just now find out that Jenna is pregnant. Michael's kind of in a little bit of a freak out. It's no big deal. Happens. All right, so they go to a wedding. And at this wedding, they have a bunch of friends. And one friend introduces Michael to this girl, Kim. And him and Kim kick it off really well while Jenna's off talking to friends and family and doing their own thing. So you can kind of see where we're going with this. Well, at one point, there is a situation where in which Jenna and Michael get into a really big fight and Michael takes off. Well, when Michael takes off, he runs to Kim, to the girl Kim that he met at a wedding. Well, unfortunately, things start to happen. He continues communicating, and before they know it, another situation happens between Jenna and Michael. Michael runs off and he cheats on Jenna with Kim. Womp womp. All right. The moral dilemma here is whether or not Jenna should take back Michael after he cheated on her. Again, remember, they've been together for a long time and she's pregnant with this kid. What do you do? All right. Well, you're going to tell me because you're going to argue both sides. And remember, we have a whether or not Jenna should take back Michael. So when you do this particular debate, you're at the very top. You're going to tell us, hey, look, here's a summary of the film. Here is the moral dilemma. And then you get into the debate. First part you're going to do is the first stance on the moral issue. So the first stance would be, say, yes, Jenna should take Michael back. That's the first part. Then you've got the rebuttal. And the rebuttal is, nah, Jenna should not take back Michael. And then you have the rebuttal of why you still should, followed by the maybe not. And then you have your conclusion. So before we get there, for every time you do either the statement or the rebuttal, you need to have vocabulary words and you need to have statistics and information that back up that point. So if you were to say, yes, Jenna should take back Michael, you're going to use some vocabulary words in there and you're going to use a statement like, science or, research has shown that, I don't know, whatever you find, maybe, forgiving someone makes a stronger relationship. So you're backing up that main point with statistics and evidence. Don't y'all remember that statistical evidence? Let's see. Statistical evidence gives you that statistical generalization, right? So you use the research to back up your point in the pro. And then the against, right? Your rebuttal, you'll say, yes, but in my statistical evidence is saying that actually, 40% of people who try to get back together after, cheating on each other end up falling apart anyway, right? So there would be that statistical evidence. You could also, in that rebuttal, use a fallacy, because you're going to have to use a couple fallacies anyway. You're going to use a fallacy that argues the argument above, okay? Or the statement above. So now your rebuttal is like, well, yes, but you're appealing tradition by saying that, people who get married need to stay married because of blah, blah, right? Like you got to rebuttal the pieces. All right, so then under here, you have your, well, yes, Jenna should stay with Michael because you're rebuttaling against the rebuttal, okay? And you're going to use information. Again, you're going to use research again, your statistical evidence. You're going to be using let's see here, fallacies. I don't have a thing of fallacies. You'll be using fallacies that might argue that, like hasty generalizations, always a cheater, once a cheater, always a cheater, right? Maybe that might be one of the fallacies, right? So you can go back through and kind of decide which vocabulary you feel, argues each argument. I hope this makes sense where I'm pointing. All right, so you have your for, your against rebuttal, another for, and then a final against rebuttal. And again, you're using all the vocabulary. You're going to use a total of 10 vocabulary words, and at least 3 of those are going to be from chapter 9. You will need at least 2 fallacies, And then you can use at least 4 other chapters for the rest of your vocabulary words. So keep that in mind as you go through, because if you look at the rubric, I do ask for the fallacies. I do ask for the use of vocabulary. Obviously, you're going to be citing things like IMDb, the usual. Take a look at my very long language for the debate, all the things that I'm looking for. That's going to help you. Take a look at the rubric. That's going to help you as well. All right. So now you've done the for, the against, the for, the against, and then you're going to come to your conclusion. Now you get to pick who the winner of the debate is based on the information that you got. So at the very end, you say, here's the winner, and then you explain why they are the winner, okay, based on the information given above, okay? That's how you're going to do that. Make sure you cite all of your sources. Again, this is scripted. You're not just making this up. You are already going to know who the winner is, okay? What else? I think that's it. Please make sure you're also using clips from the film or TV show or whatever to kind of help validate your points. It could be a short clip that just shows maybe an argument between two people, that maybe that's why, when you see the argument between Jen and Mike, you're like, this is why they shouldn't get together, is because throughout the movie you see these two fighting like this. So maybe it's not healthy for them to be together. Or you could say yes, but, and you can show like how strong their relationship has been in all the years. So however you want to use those clips to validate your points is what you want to do. Okay. Make sure you bold your vocabulary, as you know to bold vocabulary. And I think that's it. You want to make sure you also use film dialogue. Film dialogue helps validate your points, like we've talked about throughout the semester. You want to pull something that says, this is what Michael said, and this is what Jenna said, and this is why I feel like this is my main point, right? All right, see what I'm doing there? Let's see here, what else? Make sure you are organized as you go through. Don't put like a whole bunch, don't just put pro, against. You need pro, against. It has to be as if we're literally watching a debate, even though it's not. And you can use PowerPoint, you can use Canva, you can use any of those to help me visualize and what I'm looking at. Because again, don't forget to cite your sources and a works cited at the end. As above, so below. If it's within the essay, within the paragraphs, within the PowerPoint, it always needs to be cited below. If it's below, so below, therefore above. So if it's on the bottom, you got to put it at the top. Can't give you credit if it's not there. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you use respectful dialogue. We're not mocking. We're not doing anything like that. You're trying to be logical, not emotional, as we know, in critical thinking. So again, here's your opportunity to show me who you are as a critical thinker. Please take a look at not just the grading criteria, but everything underneath, all the steps and what it is that I'm looking for, so there's no surprises. So again, if for some reason you do decide to do a partner, or you do decide for some reason to record it, please message me first. Yes, message me first and we can talk out the details on that. But otherwise, PowerPoint, Canva, make it easy on yourself. Have fun with it. Get fun. Enjoy yourself on this one, because this is your non-essay final project. All right, so message me if you have questions. I will see you on the other end.